Salutations to the Lord behind the scenes, unseen, Parabrahma. Salutations to the Lord behind scenes, yet the accomplisher of everything. Salutations to the Lord in the form of his own various expressions called as Devatas. Salutations to the Lord in the form of the guides for the entire jivas to evolve. Let us do the duty of saluting our Lord in the form of the Shruti Mata also, the great, grand, glorious Shastras, Shrutismati Purana Itihasa, the testimonials, the experiences of the wise sages, liberated one side, other side filled with love and compassion for every jiva who is suffering the bondages. Salutations to each of you, the great sadhakas, shishyas, bhaktas, jignasus, and the mokshus, and the sevakas and dharma samsthapakas. In today's 2-3 minutes of introduction, before we study our Upanishad, our spiritual journey has to pass through these 6 stages. The spirituality includes all these: listening, thinking, understanding, doing, and all. But in that, the 6 stages are: the first one is totally disinterested state, not at all interested because we are so busy in the other life. From that stage of no interest, zero interest, disinterestedness, we come to the stage of interest. Just out of interest, curiosity, once in a while, we are just going through, browsing through. From that interested stage, we have to come to the stage of the formality stage. It has become little formality, like in our day schedule. Many things we do out of interest, some we do out of formality. It just becomes a part of a routine. Formally, we are doing it. It has become a formality. That's how it is about many aspects. From the stage of formality, we have to come to the level of sincerity, where we start taking the things into our hands, taking ourselves also into the hands. At what stage we are now, we should think about what we are doing. What we are doing is going on, but has it been done disinterestedly out of some forces? And even if we are not interested, if our prarabdha is so strong, we will be pushed into those satsangas or some spiritual activities. Like the husband is or wife is not interested, but for the sake of husband, she goes to satsang or the vice versa. So that is the disinterested state. Other one is I'm interested, one of the many hobbies. Then no, it has become a formality to me, like the having teas and coffees and all. It just become formality, such a way that even though that day it's not required, but out of formality, it is offered or it is asked and it is given and it is taken. That's formality, a routine. हो गया बस. People go for jogging for formality or just inquire about everyone. How are you? Out of formality. There's nothing important about it. बस एक हो गया. Routine. From that stage, that sincerity level is important one. You know that when the sincerity comes, then the things start really moving from within. The moment of elimination of that which is not required and bringing of the thing that's required. From this stage of sincerity, little higher stage is called the seriousness stage, where we are really serious, India also, which are the problems that country is facing. When it is taking it seriously, it is able to work harder to sort it out, isn't it? Many things can be given as an example. So many, you know, the changing in the articles or bringing the temple, Rama Mandiram, or so many of the reforms that are being brought. They are all out of seriousness, followed, preceded by sincerity. They are sincere. We have to make our nation great, and these are the obstacles. They can be eliminated. They have to be. Therefore, seriously, so much of planning, thinking is done. Therefore, success is being achieved. Every field. Even they have to see. We have now slowly from the formality level to sincerity level we are coming. I believe so. But that is not sufficient. We have to go to the next level of seriousness. No difficulty in understanding the meaning of seriousness, how serious we are in all our other activities of the world. In that seriousness, the punctuality, the compelling force from within, I can't be without that attitude, these all come in that aspect of seriousness. Agree? Like the very important file in the government offices, an urgent file, or even medical terminology. What's the case? Doctor, serious. The moment he is serious, the doctor has to be very urgently come there and then take the actions. If case is not serious, chalo admit karo 3 days, keep him under all checks, let us see. That was sincerity level. But now its case is serious means what? Every parameter checked, every problem diagnosed, perfectly planned what to treat what, etc. The seriousness of pandemic, economic crisis, border issues, some are very serious, threatening. So they are dealt like that. So have we taken our spiritual life seriously? Isn't it? That is little bit pinching and painful because at the level of seriousness, so many of the odds we'll be forced to face, mainly from outside, also from inside, because we were habituated to a particular routine. Once we become serious about it, some things we have to drop or change, outer and inner. That's the meaning of being serious about it. Then comes the next level of the exclusiveness. You know, 10 serious cases are there, but one of them is more dangerous. Therefore, one goes to that case only. All other will be secondary. And only such people have really done and then enjoyed the spiritual growth. The exclusiveness, the fifth step. So, disinterested stage, absolutely. From that, shallow, interested, little bit. Then, no, it has become formality such a way that even if I forget the class or not that we wanted to go that day, the family members at home force. Okay, ठीक है उनके वास्ते आ जाते हैं formality level. Then from that, no, we are sincere. Nobody need to tell us or push us or remind us. We know it. So sincerely, we take the book and bag and pen and paper and then come. But still, that's not sufficient to involve in the thing, whatever we do. What's required is the state of being serious. Okay. From that serious stage, the fifth one, the sixth one is the state of being exclusive. Then we can add one more thing. Last one is to get fully lost in that. That we are oblivion, we are not available to anything else, anybody else, and ourselves. That is the highest stage of totally engrossed only in the study, in the meditation, in trying to scrutinize the truth reality of every sentence of the Shruti Mata, not only for intellectual apprehension, but also to experiment it and find the truth of it in one's own experience. That's a totally getting lost, you know. In fact, that's the most beautiful, covetable stage necessarily required for the tasting the beauty of spirituality, whether it is the yoga marga or bhakti marga or jnana marga. You know, a little earlier stages, exclusiveness gives a joy, no doubt, because obstructions are removed, but then totally involving in it. When we say getting lost in it is not even not even unaware of all our faculties, their positions, वो सबको उसमें लगा दिया, अब कोई चिंता ही नहीं है सिवाय उसका, है ना. The Parama Bhaktas, if you see, they are not aware of the body consciousness also, not aware of the mind, prana, senses, not even aware of the outer world. That's what we meant by saying fully lost into it. Such ones alone have really tasted the amrita of that spiritual truth. Before that, the state of being exclusiveness. Bas. उससे पहले very very serious we are. Very serious in the sense there is a sense of urgency, the sense of compulsion that no, I must do sadhana, I must reach the goal. The level of sincerity, there is a respect, there is a reverence. Yeah, yeah, it's very important. That also must be part of life. Before that seriousness, sincerity level, the level of formality. Then before that, some interest, चलो ठीक है चलते हैं. Before that, no interest. I'm happy, wonderful, I have lots of money, lot of name and fame. Things are going smoothly in the life. I'm happy with that. Spirituality, कोई जरूरत नहीं है अभी वैसे. That's for all frustrated fellows. I'm happy. It's only for those who don't have money or can't do anything in the world. This is for them. Why should I involve? I am such a good politician or professional or business icon or a important member of the society. How many groups are inviting me, giving me the post of secretary, president? I'm so busy in them. I don't need it all, isn't it? So that stage we crossed, thankfully, because nobody values us. So that the reason of disinterestedness is not there. Therefore, we are interested. चल ठीक है जाते हैं. So then the formality stage. अच्छा अच्छा daily जाना पड़ेगा. Then sincere. Yes, book is purchased. At the formality level, the guru has to send the books, pens, papers, everything. And at the serious sincerity level, we get our own books, our own prints out, and all of that. Seriousness way, we start doing our homework also. But that is not, it's a beginning. Being serious is the beginning point, but not the end one. From that, slowly, slowly, really covetable stage, it is exclusiveness. नो नो आई एम नॉट. चल गोइंग ऑन, सब चलता रहता है. नया साल आएगा, पुराना साल जाएगा, festivals will come, they go, governments will come, they go, elections happen. I am not interested. Exclusively, I am in my goal, ultimate. Because these things go on happening in the eternal Srishti endlessly. They are at one level. Just like the surface level of the ocean, millions of waves keep on coming and going. So too at the atmospheric level, the variety of winds and gases keep on clashing with each other, blowing, flowing from one place to the other. Beyond the state of that ether is my goal. Below this tumultuous position of the waving, deep in the depth of the ocean is my goal. So too, beyond the Vyavahara, beyond the Upadhi level, that vast infinite, blissful, you know, undisturbed state of peace called as self is my goal. Therefore, I am exclusively for that. Isn't it? That stage is the one if we can really achieve in this life. And also, if possible, forgotten Desha, Kala, Vastu, Vyakti, Paristhiti, Sharira, Mana, Buddhi, Indriya, सारे पता ही नहीं उनका. पूरा ourselves got lost into the theme of the Upanishads, the theme of the Bhakti Shastra. What's the meaning of the complete Dasyam or complete Sharanagati, a complete Tadadhina Vritti? So, thinking about it, seeing the examples, learning from them, trying oneself hard for that, totally into it. What a beautiful stage it is. Now, even to become regular or sincere, also, we have to take the permission of the body, mind, senses. Only when they say, okay, बस 10 मिनट के लिए क्लास में बैठना फिर भागो, then we come. We are slaves to them, their dictates, isn't it? Little bit of problem in the body, in the mind, in the ego, which refuses our being sincere in the class. Oh, we cancel class or any of our upasanas. So from that level, all these faculties are having no word to say. They're just fully cooperating with me in the chosen sadhana or the sadhana to be done. That's the meaning of totally getting lost in it. And every highly achieved person in any of their profession, they are this case. You know, they were not ordinary accidental births. A great musician, a great artist, and a great scientist. ऐसे वो ऐसे accidentally बनते नहीं वो लोग. This is the way. From many, many lives, they are evolving in reaching to that level of exclusiveness and totally pouring oneself into it. And getting totally into it, getting lost in it. Nothing. Like we get lost in samsara so much that never remember the higher things at all. Like any of the animals, they get lost only in the food and survival. How you make a dog sit and tell it, oh, ye hai Paramatma, ye hai Atma. Oh, it looks at you. What is wrong with you today? It will tell. Same are the people, human beings, at the disinterested level. And from that extreme level of getting lost in the samsara to the extreme level of getting lost in the divinity. These are the 7 6 steps we have to slowly cross. And where are we? When we become conscious, एक तो appreciation भी होता है कि yeah, we are not at the lowest level. At the same time, still there will be dissatisfaction कि some more levels have to be crossed. That becomes cause of inspiration. Then we start thinking about it and little by little doing what's to be done. And these are not processes as simple as they are said in words. है ना? बस फटाफट ऐसे ऐसे चढ़ो 25 मंजिल का बिल्डिंग. नो दैट 25 मंजिल का बिल्डिंग चढ़ना थ्रू स्टेयर्स is not as it is as said now. At every manzil level, you will have so much palpitation and all. In the same way, even though we talk about these stages as if they are so simple and common and achievable, they are struggles of days and months and years and lives. You understand? To go to that next pakad. And every jiva unknowingly trying that, some of them knowingly do it who are under the guidance of the Guru and Shastra by choice. Like you and I are under the guidance of Guru and Shastra by choice up to knowing the things. But in doing the things also, when we become sincere, then our speed will be more in our evolution. For others, slow, steady, oh बाप रे, एक एक स्टेज पार करने के लिए बहुत, क्योंकि वी आर नॉट ए मैकेनिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स ना, वी आर लिविंग डायनामिक बीइंग्स having our upadhis with so many of their own ways and means, like married, got children, wife, husband, पांच छह लोग. No, that man cannot just live life royally at home at his own independence like a king. No, he'll be questioned by the wife, he'll have to answer her, he'll have to fulfill her demands, expectations. Then the children, each one. You can't just like that say that मैं राजा हूँ जो कहूँगा करेंगे, नहीं होता हो. In the same way, I am sadhaka, I will do sadhana. None of the instruments should trouble me, ऐसा हम कमेंट नहीं कर सकते in the initial days. They are all equipments, part of prakriti, part of prarabdha. Therefore, have their own way of moving ahead. Most of them are obstructing our sadhana. अब उन सबको negotiate करना पड़ता है. How much sincere I am to do sadhana, but the body doesn't cooperate. Nobody can do anything. That day mind is in, let us say, absolute mood of bhumika of nidra. अब कौन क्या करेगा उसका बताओ? Guru knows all that of the disciple. Therefore, he just loves and forgives and pats and encourages and guides him. ऐसा हो रहा है, उसके लिए ये कारण है, उसको हटाओ, ये वाला करो, उससे ये फायदा होगा. So he's such a wonderful person. Guru, if we have, he just understands us and says. Another day, so much of Rajoguna in the mind, Bhumika is a Kshipta only. What can you do? It is beyond control. You can't imagine that when we are in Sattva Guna, fully attending everything, that a moment will come where it will be absolute uncontrollable Rajoguna, that I cannot do anything on my choice. But we have to go through. People from such a high level of Sattva Guna also, tormented by the Rajas, have come down to such a level. अब ऐसी बलवान है प्रकृति, है कि नहीं? So there's one matter that has its own role to play, but we at a tiny tots with whatever freedom, powers given to us, we try to do our best. But one thing always works, which can be believed helps, is what? The thoughts from today, what I entertain, converting them into prayers, will be realized or actualized after some years. So my thought and prayer today, that deeply I must understand every aspect of the Shastra, through that every aspect what the rishis wanted to teach, through that every aspect of spiritual sadhana. If I pray and have sankalpa of this from today, if not today, after 10 years, 15 years, 10 lives, whatever, that stage will come. Same way, if I have my sankalpa and thought and prarthana, no, I must be in that deep state of dhyanam, going beyond all Vyashti Samashti Upadhis. If I go on entertaining that thought and that prayer, if not today, maybe sometime later, because the application is put, it will be answered. And the sankalpa is made. It will become balavan one day. Slowly it makes us do the due. The thing will happen. If we are unconscious about this and consciously or unconsciously entertain the thoughts of artha and kama of the world, then that becomes balavana. That will be our destiny. So at this one place also, if we can become conscious and sincere in our sankalpa and prayers for the sadhana, isn't it? So that's going to help us. I thought do that only. Now I can't do anything, I know. But many have done it, achieved it. I will also achieve and do it one day. So for that, oh God, oh Guru, empower. And they laugh at. They know what stage of evolution we are, inside and outside. And just by merely attending the classes or doing classes, nothing is achieved. So much practically has to be done for the true transformation within. The Guru knows, the Lord knows, we know it. Therefore, they laugh at it, but still they are loving. So they say, Chal, theek hai, this is next, this is next. They keep on guiding us. So that's how one slowly, steadily, silently, but surely evolves. So maybe from the disinterested stage to totally getting lost in our main goal of spirituality, evolve with it. And that adds meaning to whatever we are doing outside, called as attending classes, called as doing the homeworks, ये सब सफल हो जाते हैं. हे भगवान, bless all of us. Om. 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 Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahma Dibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Om Sarusibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Nidhaye Sarva Vidyanam Vishaje Bhavaroginam Gurave Sarvalokanam Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Yairime Gurubihi Purvam Padavakya Pramanatah Vyakhyatah Sarva Vedantaha Tan Nityam Pranatosmyaham Shankaram Shankaracharyam केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् ॐ भवता जनता सुहिता भविता निजबोधविचारणचारुमते कलयेश्वर जीवविवेकविदौ भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणम् ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्तब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः श्री ऐतरेय उपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः श्रीवेदव्यासमहर्षये नमः ऐतरेय महर्षये नमः आद्यशङ्करमहर्षये नमः अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः सर्वेषां तेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्तब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकहैन्दवसंस्कृतेः शास्त्राणां साधनानां प्रक्रियाणां योगानां पुनरुत्थानजागरण विश्वव्याप्तिद्वारा विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगतिद्वारा विश्व एकता शांति कल्याण पुरोभिवृद्ध्यर्थम् अस्मिन् धर्म संस्थापन कार्ये निष्ठित समस्त धर्म संस्थापकानां गुरूणाम् आचार्याणाम् आश्रमाणां संस्थानाम् अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां भक्तसेवकानां श्रेयोभिलाषिणां पूर्णायुरारोग्यैश्वर्यक्षेमस्थैर्यधैर्यवीर्यादि शक्तिसम्पदा सानुकूल्यता साधनानां प्राप्ति बाह्य अभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न निर्मूलन द्वारा दुर्गुण निर्मूलन सद्गुण प्राप्ति द्वारा धर्म संस्थापन कार्य दिग्विजयार्थम श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशंकर भाष्य सहित अध्ययनं सर्वस्तनेकानेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययनं मध्ये अवगाहनार्थं साधनार्थं सिद्ध्यर्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे ओम अतः श्री ऋग्वेदांतर्गत ऐतरेयोपनिषद ओम मनस्तापतमशान्त्यै यस्य पादनखच्छटा शरदिन्दुनिभा भाति तं वन्दे नीलचिन्मणिं शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य म आणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्ददामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवत्ववतु मामवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Friends, in the Parayana aspect, what we have to do today is द्वितीयोऽध्यायः. ॐ पुरुषे हवायमादितो गर्भो भवति यदेतद्रेतः तदेतत् सर्वेभ्यः अङ्गेभ्यः तेजः सम्भूतम् आत्मनि एव आत्मानं बिभर्ति तत् यदा स्त्रियां सिञ्चति अथ एनत् जनयति तद् अस्य प्रथमं जन्म तत् स्त्रिया आत्मभूयं गच्छति यथा स्वम् अङ्गं तथा तस्मात् एनां न हिनस्ति सा अस्य एतम् आत्मानम् अत्र गतं भावयति सा भावयित्री भावयितव्या भवति तं स्त्री गर्भं बिभर्ति सः अग्रे एव कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति सः यत् कुमारं जन्मनः अग्रे अधिभावयति आत्मानमेव तद् भावयति येषां लोकानां सन्तत्या एवं सन्तता हि इमे लोकाः तद् अस्य द्वितीयं जन्म सः अस्य अयम् आत्मा पुण्येभ्यः कर्मभ्यः प्रतिधीयते अथ अस्य अयम् इतरः आत्मा कृतकृत्यो वयोगतः प्रएति स इतः प्रयन्नेव पुनर्जायते तत् अस्य तृतीयं जन्म तदुक्तं ऋषिणा गर्भेऽनुसन् अन्वेषाम् अवेदम् अहम् देवानां जनिमानि विश्वा शतं मा पुर आयसीः अरक्षन् अधः श्येनो जवसा निरदीयम् इति गर्भे एव एतत् शयानः वामदेवः एवमुवाच तः सः एवं विद्वान् अस्मात् शरीरभेदात् ऊर्ध्वमुत्क्रम्य अमुष्मिन् स्वर्गे लोके सर्वान् कामान् आप्त्वा अमृतः समभवत् ओम शांति friends. Third adhyaya beginning, the Sambandha Bhashya Avatarika we have seen, wherein in the first mantra, first line, Koyamatmeti, who is this self? A question asked, then answer is being discussed. So that indicates that there is a group of people who are doing this discussion. Therefore, Bhagavan Adi Shankara in the introduction obviously says that there was a group of people who are discussing. Who are those people? Adhunatanaha, latest, modern, right now people. They are discussing who is this Atma. Okay. And what's the basis in them for them to take up this discussion of which is the Atma? The basis, the reason in them is the same which is coming from eternity. What is it? That they want to come out of this samsara. Therefore, how much ever the times are modern, if somebody wants to come out of samsara, they can, but the process is the same of self-inquiry. That's what was said in a ki who are they? Anityat sadhya sadhana lakshanat samsarat ajiva bhavat vyavivrutsavaha. See, vyavivrutsa means wanting to eject out of jiva bhava, which is having the samsara because of its involvement in the anitya sadhya sadhana. Sadhana means the doings, the karmas, whether they be yajnas or upasanas, even other punya karmas. But all of them anitya sadhanas. Then how can from the anitya sadhana the nitya sadhya will come? It will not. Therefore the anitya sadhya sadhana से उसके कारण होने वाला जीव भाव से उसके कारण होने वाला संसार से व्याविवृत्सवः, those who want to get out of it, eject out of it. Okay. Then therefore technically they are called as what? Mumukshavaha. Because in this anitya sadhya sadhana, jiva bhava and samsara jivana, there is nothing but bondage, bandhanam. And those who want to, with understanding, consciously, want to come out of the bondage, bandhanam, they are called as mumukshus. Moktum ichha yasyam yasmin. Those in whom the desire for liberation is there, they are called as mumukshus. But they also have to be brahmanas, not by the birth, but by the qualification. Therefore, mumukshavaha brahmanaha adhunatanaha. The mumukshus, brahmanas, adhunatanas, the latest people, but brahma jignasavaha. Why the Brahma Jignasa came to them? They know that only through Brahma Prapti there will be the moksha which they want. When you talk about moksha, we should know what is bandhana, from where we want the moksha. So, bandhana is anityat sadhya sadhana lakshanat samsarat ajiva bhavyat. Jivya ajiva bhavat. Isn't it? Mhm. Continuous being in a jiva bhava, which is called as samsara, because of in that the lakshana of the samsara is anitya sadhya anitya sadhana. The temporary means adopted and performed for the temporary gains. Again, when the means are over, end is over, or the gain is over, we are back to square one of emptiness. Like monthly salary. By the time 25th of the month, entire money is over. Last 5 days, very difficultly it is run. Then again on the day first, salary again comes. हो गया वो खत्म. इसी तरह the sadhana being anitya, the sadhya also anitya. So that is called samsara. Then what is samsara? Anitya sadhya sadhana mein fase rehna is samsara. And the one who does it is what? Is called as jiva. That itself is bandhanam. And the one who wants to come out of it is mumukshu. And the mumukshus, mumuksha, moktumicha will be fulfilled only when they get the nitya sadhya vastu. And nitya sadhya is only Brahma. Brahman, we are already there. We just have to know it. So the desire to know Brahman, therefore, is called Brahma Jignasa. So these people are Brahma Jignasus because they are mumukshus, because they are fed up of the Jiva Bhava, in which there is a samsara of only getting lost in the sadhya sadhana, uchara nitya. Therefore, they are finally Vyavivrutsavaha. These people, in their discussion earlier, they just referred back the stage in which they are now. Earlier, some other people also were there. They also did the Brahma Jignasa with the Mumuksha in the heart. By the Brahma Prapti, they got Mukti. Therefore, उनको भी वही लगा चलो, let us adopt whatever earlier people have done. But they knew they did it. We have to know and we have to do it. Therefore, for knowing sake, they had a meeting. In that meeting, there is a question answer. This is how this topic. And before that, in the Sambandha Bhashya, Bhagavan Adi Shankara not only summarized earlier portion, not only gave introduction for the next one, but he gave entirely what spiritual understanding, spiritual sadhana, spiritual life contains. How he says, Brahma Vidya Sadhana Kruta Sarvatma Bhava Phala Avapti. Moksha is in Sarvatma Bhava. Okay, that will come only when we do the Brahma Vidya Sadhana. That has been taught in the Upanishad earlier. Vamadevadi Acharya Paramparaya. That these people have heard. Shrutva. Sorry. Brahma Vidya Acharya Parampara, like that of Vamadeva have, etc., have uh, understood, practiced, and experienced the moksha through the Brahma Vidya practice. फिर से बोलता हूँ ब्रह्म विद्या साधन कृत सर्वात्म भाव फला भाप्ति. So if we really do the sadhana of the Brahma Vidya, the moksha result called as Sarvatma Bhava definitely will come. And that has been taught, learned, practiced, achieved, taught, learned, practiced, achieved by Vamadevadi Acharya Parampara. And where it is taught? Shrutya. In the Shruti, Avadyotamanam, which is very resplendently enlivened or enlightened, that knowledge, Brahmavid Parishadi, Atyanta Prasiddha. Such thing is going on in very many Brahmavid Parishads throughout. Upalabhya, having understood this, who? These mumukshus, these brahmana, these adunatanaha, ये ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा लोग जिन्होंने साध्य साधना रूपी अनित्य जीव भाव संसार से व्याविवृत्सवः, those who wanted to come out of it, vicharayantaha. They had a meeting. In that they started discussing. In that discussion or vicharana, anyonyam pruchanti. They are asking each other. That is how this introduction for this mantra, first one in this third chapter, which starts with Oyamatma. So, for the sake of just information, that means what? Just like when we are seated in this class at this time, in the cosmos, in the universe, on the earth, the globe, so many things are happening in groups, so many places. Let us categorize them simply as there are the groups of the earth, wealth earning, wealth producing, wealth creating, wealth increasing groups. They are all functional. So too there are groups indulging in the kamana. Millions of places in groups, whether it's human or animal or pash, whatever the yoni. In the same way, there are groups which are involved in doing the dharma unnoticed, unknown by you and I because of lack of our capacities. Mind you, in the same way, there are the parishads, there are sabhas that are continuously being conducted where the moksha is being discussed. In the gross realm of the earth also they are happening like you and I are having a class. Yeah, hundreds of places there are the classes, satsangs are happening. The discussion on the moksha is happening there. From here onwards, even the subtler and higher realms and lokas, the parishads are going on happening where Brahma Vidya is the theme. And like there are thousands of temples in India at this time where the pujas are going. There are lakhs and crores of houses wherein the Deepa Aradhana, again the Upasana is happening. We may not be aware of it, but going on happening. Other things also. In one house only, so many things you can see. And the husband is doing puja, the wife is doing the cooking, the children are getting ready to go somewhere, the grandparents are doing their parayana japa. You know, कितने हो रहे activities. धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष कहते हैं उसको. So in the same way, in Brahma Vidya Parishads are there, in that the Brahma Vidya is the theme. That these people Adunatanas came to know. And what happens is Brahma Vidya Parishad is Brahma Tattva is discussed. Which Brahma Tattva? What that when it is practiced, the final result of moksha called as Sarvatma Bhava is experienced. In example, Vamadevadi Acharya Parampara, where it is given in the Shastras. Therefore, Shastra authorized, Guru Parampara arrived, Sarvatma Bhava named, moksha giving, Brahma Vidya theoretical and practical. This is what is done in the Brahma Vidya Parishads. That these people came to know that this is how it has to be done. Therefore, they sat for the question answer. And who are these people? Who are mumukshus, who are vyavruttaha, means desirous of getting rid of the samsara of anitya satya sadhana. See, every word we have to relate to ourselves to say whether we are in that position or not. Then only the Brahma Vidya Parishad of ours also becomes fruitful for us. That's the glory. Now you understand the height of intellection of Bhagavan Adi Shankara, how in one paragraph he told the glory of the Shruti Mata, he told the glory of the Guru Vishya Parampara, he told the glory of the Brahma Vidya, he told us the necessity of the Brahma Vidya Abhyasa and the result of it called as Sarvatma Bhava, from where the Samsara, Jiva Bhava, then Anitya Sadhya Sadhana Bandhana transcended once for all. For that, one has to be moksha also, one has to be jignasu also, one has to be in the Brahma Vidya Parishad also, one has to with all Shraddha listen from the Guru Paramparadi, Brahma Vidya from the Shastras, and one has to practically practice it. How wonderful, this paragraph. You have seen the last mantra of the second chapter also, how in precise mantras, words, Shruti Mata explained so much, and how Bhagavan Adi Shankara's kindness in trying to explain that in all details. Such things, when we again and again repeatedly think, study, why will not we understand? Why will not our intellect or understanding become sharper? It will become. That's the glory of this Brahma Vidya, Advaita Vidya with the Bhashyam, with the Upanishad. It will definitely, inevitably make all of us matured in our understanding. We have to be regular. We have to be sincere. Time we should not keep a limit because what are our inner capacities of Antakarana, all of them play their role in deciding the time factor. So Brahma Vidya Sadhana Krita Sarvatma Bhava Phala Avaptim Vamadevadi Acharya Paramparaya Shrutva परंपरया श्रुत्या अवद्योतमानां ब्रह्मवित् परिषदि अत्यंत प्रसिद्धां उपलभमानाः मुमुक्षवः ब्राह्मणाः अधुनातनाः ब्रह्मजिज्ञासवः अनित्यात् साध्य साधन लक्षणात् संसारात् आजीव भावात् व्याविवृत्सवः विचारयन्तः अन्योन्यं पृच्छन्ति कोयमात्मा इति. Therefore, who is fit for in this Brahma Vidya Parishad? And in this paragraph, it is very clearly said. And like in a big parliament, who is fit to sit there and discuss about what is to be done for the country? Those members of parliament are expected to be such a great Deshabhaktas and in their own particular field. They truly want to do seva to the praja and then they sit for the thinking and contemplation as to what have to be done, assessing all the situations and resources and the people and all of that. how highest level of brains intellects they have. Not an ordinary thing. So too, if somebody is a scientist in any particular department, any particular field or kshetra, not an ordinary easy thing. You're very great. Like that, Brahma Vidya Parishad में आना और ब्रह्म विद्या का चर्चा करना and getting guidance from Acharya Parampara calls for all these qualifications. So I am aware of the past. In the past also there were some samsarins. They became mumukshus. Then they did Brahma Jignasa. They got the moksha. The helps for that was the satsanga, where is Brahma Vidya Parishad कहते हैं यहाँ, then the listening it from the parampara with the authority of the Shruti and practically doing it. So whoever sat in the assembly, whoever have heard from the Acharya Parampara, whoever have heard the Shruti, and in that Brahma Jignasa is alone is clarified by the Brahma Jnana theoretical, and whoever has practically done that, they came out of the bandhana. So the desire to come out of the bandhana is moksha. We should know what is bandhana. Bandhana means getting lost in anitya sadhya sadhana, samsara, maintaining the jiva bhava. So such group of people, they sat and mutually they started discussing. In that the prashna came, Koyamatma. Okay, that should be the sufficient understanding of this para. So vicharayanta anyonyam pruchanti. Doing that vicharana, they were asking each other, Koyamatma iti. Who is this self? Katham, how was their discussion? Okay. Now, like when you write the minutes of the meeting, you don't add every article, particle, every word addressed or some humor if it is there in that class that happened, kuch maskari hua. No, you only write the bullet points. So the question is raised by this particular member, this point. Others have answered that together this was a final thought. ऐसा ही होता है ना मिनट्स मीटिंग में. You don't write everything. Like all our shastras, this question never comes to us. Therefore, we don't feel the need of answer. Like you say Ramayana. No, Ramayana, what you study Valmiki, it is not that way that the whole thing happened. It has happened in an informal manner. But Valmiki ji got a vision and blessing to write as if everything has formally, and he has written it in the form of poetry. Otherwise, nobody in the Vyavahara all the time that are doing things in poetry. Mahabharata, 1,00,000 श्लोक. No, Duryodhana, when it is hating or fighting with Yudhishthira, he won't do it in the poetry. Okay, do you fight with your wife and husband all the time poetry mein, in your own language? You don't do it. It is only informal way we do, but formally it will be compiled as the Shastra. So that in the poetry form it is there, it is easy to study, remember and understand. In that also, the main story remaining same. Okay. The words employed will be as per requirement, like Bhagavad Gita. Not that Krishna, everything he spoke just like that Vyasa wrote. The theme is same, what Krishna said in that 40 minutes. So now Vyasa being again Krishna Avatara only, Narayana only, then he has put it in these chapters. Like he was doing the earlier portion of the Mahabharata Grantha. The after Gita also Mahabharata Grantha continued. And he'll have to do the Varnana of the who died and what happened, how Yudhishthira cried later on. Then he had to be taken to Bhishmacharya and all this teachings of so many Anushasana Parva and all of that. What I'm trying to say is, here, out of so much of heated arguments, discussions, questions, sometimes question itself has to be rejected if it is not in agenda, if it is not in the urgency. आपका सवाल बहुत बढ़िया है लेकिन फिलहाल उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. अब आज का एजेंडा ये है. दैट्स व्हाई द सेक्रेटरी विद द प्रेसिडेंट एंड जॉइंट सेक्रेटरी डिस्कस एजेंडा व्हाट इज टू बी डन परफेक्टली नाउ. उसके हिसाब से ही वो प्लानिंग उस मीटिंग में बातें होंगे ना. इन एवरी कंपनी इट इज लाइक दैट. इन द हाउस आल्सो you don't discuss about the marriage of the child in an urgency. The fellow is 5 years old. नो यू ओनली थिंक उस गधे को कौन से स्कूल में डाले वो पहले so that he doesn't destroy the school. So you think that way. Here also, So many things might have been discussed, but what is prominent, predominant, what is required, what is to our theme of the Upanishad, that's what is presented here. This wisdom we should have just to that way. And that should give a hint to us also. In life, many issues will come. Many seek the attention. Many are posing themselves to be important. But we have to have the common sense and discretion to know what exactly truly important and attend that only in the given time. लाइक 24 घंटे होते हैं दिन में, हजारों चीजें मन में आते हैं, बाहर से भी आते हैं, बट वी हैव टू हैव द कॉमन सेंस टू डिसाइड व्हिच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट and do only that one in the given time. This thinking whoever have got, they will inevitably become mukshu, because in the given time of the day, in the given time of a lifespan, nothing is important more than nearing to our moksha through spiritual sadhana. By the way, it can be possible for some people, matured people. So here also, this is how they have discussed. Main points only हम आपके सामने present कर रहे हैं. Now let us chant this mantra one, two times, and let us study it with the Bhashyam. Om कोयमात्मेति वयमुपास्महे कतरः स आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धानाजिघ्रति येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च विजानाति. Again, अहम अयम आत्मा इति वयम उपास्महे कतरस्य आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धानाजिघ्रति येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च विजानाति. Now, these are the shlokas and bhashyas. When we have that all encompassing, all abilities to focus on it, it is such a what you call very tremendous, all engrossing exercise to get so many of the deeper knowledges required. And through all these deeper knowledges, like very many arrows, that the unnecessary ignorances notions are removed. Like to kill Ravana, Rama needs only one arrow. But that final arrow to shoot Ravana and kill, before that, Ravana from inside, his side, he is shooting so many arrows. To neutralize them, Rama will have to use many arrows in the beginning. Same way, only one final thought, Aham Brahmasmi, required for realization. But before that, in the mind and intellect, thousands of the arrows of doubts, despairs, questions, they keep on coming. Now, to answer them, all these discussions, thinkings, contemplations are required. With these discussion, complete contemplation arrows, when the arrows of doubts, questions are subdued, dispelled, then the final arrow of final understanding is, it is the mind which is taking me toward the world. It is the mind riding on which I have to involve in Paramatma and reach him. See, that final thought of Rama was this only to Mata Kausalya. Example is Yatha Vayu Vashat Gandha Adharat Granam Avishati Tata Yoga Rasam Chittam Atmaniva Vatishtate. This is final. And the chitta which is doing Ramanam in the yoga abhyasa, it will enter into Paramatma. बस इतना ही है. चित्त को परमात्मा तत्व में रमण करते रहो. You become one with him. This is the final thing to know and to do. But do you think we will not easily? How many questions, how many doubts, right from the existence of Paramatma. This is what in the beginning in the Mandukya Upanishad. He says, Shunyam Tharhi, Are Bhagavan hai nahi, then he'll have to be told. What you see is an effect, there must be a final cause, or what you see is a superimposed cannot be without substratum. That is how Guru will have to encourage, enliven, or enlighten the disciple's mind. In the same way here also. So कोयमात्मेति वयमुपास्महे. तो ये कतरः स आत्मा येन वा पश्यति येन वा शृणोति येन वा गन्धानाजिघ्रति येन वा वाचं व्याकरोति येन वा स्वादु च आस्वादु जानाति. Now, the literal meaning of this shloka is this. Kahayam atma. Iti is, this is what was their main question. So, point of agenda is what? Who is this self? Okay, very clear. Like points today to discuss are the 3 or 4. Point one discussed. 10 minutes lag gaya. Okay, discuss. Now take a second point. Let's take. Third we take. In this Parishad, there are no many agendas. Only one. Kahaya Mahatma. Ram Ram. Narayana. What is the need of this jignasa, this question answer, this discussion? For that, the answer is in the second line. Ki vayam upasmahe. That we have to do the upasana of that Atma. Means we have to recognize ourselves to be that Atma. Why? We want to become liberated. Point. Now, if there is only one Atma, Lachara, Bechara, Jiva to suffer, you can't have any meeting because ek hi hai. Therefore, the Atma which they know are experiencing, and then Atman which was experienced by the rishis, with which they are in liberation. Therefore, for them, a base is made that there are two Atmas. Therefore, the discussion has become more systematic. That's why in the next line, Kataraha Saha Atma. Kataraha is comes when there are two things. Among these two, kaun hai? So, see the completeness of the discussion or the question. Who is this Atman whom we have to do the Upasana? Why? Because that Upasana should lead us to liberation. For that, if there is only one Atman, there is no option. Isn't it? But no, we are in one Atma where we are bound. They are in another Atma, they are liberated. Therefore, there are two. Therefore, among these two, which is an Atman, which we have to clearly understand and do Upasana. And doing so, what are we going to get? And in that also, already they are mumukshus, they are already jignasus, they are already wanting to come out of the ajivyat vyavivrutsavaha. They are already fed up of this adi sadhana lakshana samsara. So therefore, their inquisitiveness, jignasa is only for liberation, not only for information. Okay. Now the answer is this the Atma which we have to know and have to do the Upasana? Here Upasana is identifying with. In this shloka, that is discussed, that is said. And the answer is what? No, 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 not this one, because already we are lost in it. Therefore, in the next shloka, which is the other Atma with which we have to identify, before that we have to know it. We have to identify its presence and we have to identify with it. That gives moksha. So, in this one, the first Atma which they are already lost in, that is discussed. That Atman is this one. Ye Nama Pashyati. That Atma by which the seeing is happening. Ye Nama Shrunoti. That which is listening. Ye Nama Gandhanajigrati. That Atman which is doing the job of smelling of the smell. So, Ye Nama Vacham Vyakaroti. O Atma, jo with mouth it is speaking. Ye Nama, that Atma which is doing the job of Swadu Aswadu Vijanati, knowing the taste and distaste. Is this the Atma which we have to do Upasana of? No. Why? Because already we are doing that only. And that is what is suffering, troubling us. So here he is called as the Jiva Atma, who through the Upadhi, pursuing the world and getting lost in the variety of the world, in the modifications of the world, in the birth, change and death of the world. World means world of things and beings, which are the Shabda Sparsha Rasagandha, which are mentioned here. Yeah, even we have to recognize him, who is a bound jiva because of using the upadhis and involving in the world. Then there's another Atman self, which is free from all this nonsense. He is liberated. Or this Atma only was a jiva through the upadhis, involving in the world, becoming samsari. When he himself withdraws from these two things of identifying the upadhis and involving the world, he only will become Parama Atma. I know. Like I only becoming miserable Atma when I become angry and scold others and fight. Same me become the happy Atma when I just forgive and forget. At that very moment we can do it. No? I become miserable Atma because something is lost. Immediately I can reconcile and say, Array, nothing lost gets lost. If it is ours, it is gone, means not mine. Chala gaya. The moment that wisdom is brought, The same miserable fellow became quiet and calm now, relaxed. Either you say there is a second Atma, or you say this alone, when detached, becomes the real Atma. So here, I am a sadhaka, there are two positions which I can adopt. The Jiva Samsari position, the Paramatma liberated position. इंटरेस्टिंग नो एक्चुअली तीन नहीं है एक ही है बट वो एक ही सफर कर रहा है अब उसको दो ऑप्शन है दो में से एक को है जो उसको कंटिन्यू करो तो संसारा कंटिन्यूज द अदर वन व्हेन वी गेट आइडेंटिफाइड विद वी गेट लिबरेटेड and I am one only but there are two sweet things are kept sweet is kept hot is kept so I eat the hot then I become the experience of the hot I eat the sweet I become the experience of the sweetness but in which is there is a well-being है ना अकॉर्डिंग टू माई चॉइस मैं कहता हूँ स्वीट खाऊं तो मजा आता है तो आई ईट स्वीट अदर से आई वांट टू ईट द नमकीन सो दे विल एंजॉय इट इन द सेम वे आई samsari mukta purusha I can become this I can become that so I am there is a profession of medicine profession of the engineering so which should I adopt to become that so I want to be a doctor then I adopt the medicine then I become slowly doctor or I take up the engineering I become so I through the upadhi continue to be a samsari I detach from the upadhi and discover your essential self you are liberated. And as we saw in the introduction today and yesterday, everybody and every day almost seeing, finally to choose exclusively that I want to be the Mukta Paramatma Swarupa is the toughest thing. Because this Jiva Bhava doesn't leave us easily. In a good mood of Sattva Guna, we feel like we want to be sadhaka and recognize the self and all. But वो Sattva Guna थोड़ा टाइम के लिए रहता है. Immediately the Rajva Tamo come and खींच के ले जाता. Isn't it? And we are not even aware of it. That's what is spiritual sadhana as to which guna is attacking me and influencing me. Not allowing Rajo Tamo to attack, maintain the Sattva guna and using that Sattva guna to know the Tattva. This is our effort. That is why Tatra Sthitau Yatnaha Abhyasa. What is Abhyasa? The Yatna, the effort to Sthiti, to stay in Tatra in that position. So trying to maintain our position of Sattva Guna and maintain our position of the seeker of the truth and maintain our position of really seeking practically. That is called Abhyas. Like every day we do. Every day we sleep night and morning up to 6, 5:30. जब होगा नींद आता है. But we have to come to the class at 8 o'clock. Therefore, we are trying to do the practice of Tatra Sthiti. That's called Abhyas. What is it? Come what may, even that days sleep is not sufficient, our mind is distracted, or so many other works are there. But we are doing the Abhyas of Tatra Sthitau. What is Tatra Sthitau? Come to the class. Just like this, grosser physical example, in the heart, in the thought flow, we are always trying to stationarize or put our thoughts in the mood of Sattva Guna and through that in the mood of Tattva Chintana. That's called as Abhyasa. That is what we have to master. That's called real sadhana. Any other cares that have to be taken for this have to be known and taken. Again, in general, the health principles are same for all. But again, in particular, each body has different composition. Therefore, there will be 19-20 का फर्क होता है. That everyone will have to discuss. Doctor cannot tell particularly. Generally, will tell all. But particularly, I must know what food suits me. That alone. थोड़ा सा फर्क. In the same way, in the other preparations, I have to become conscious of what I have to avoid or do to become qualified for the general sadhana of Tatra Sthitau Yatno Vyasa. So all this knowing is called intellectual maturity. When you know it and practice it, really the joy will come. So, Koyam Atma iti, what is the self? They want to know why. Vayam upasmahe, obviously why? Because they are mokshas, they want the moksha. Then Kataraya, कतरह सह आत्मा अमंग दीज टू आत्माएं कौन है जिसका हमें उपासना करने से वी गेट द मोक्ष देन ईच वन ये नवा पश्यति ये नवा शृणोति ये नवा वजगंधानाजिग्रति ये नवा वाचम व्याकरोति ये नवा स्वादुच आस्वादुच विजानाति सो मजाक के तौर पर ये जो है ना, one by one person must have proposed this one. Let us identify with the seer. Because when you see beautiful things through the eyes, there's a great joy. Other fellow says, no, 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 let us identify with the listener. Because such a beautiful music or somebody praising you when you listen, maja aata hai. Somebody says, no, 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 swadu aswad vijana. Let us be identified with and do the upasana of the taster. Because when you taste such a good food life, तो मजा ही मजा आता है. Somebody says, Adigrati Gandhan Sprushati. So as if the five people have spoken, he, the Atma is the smeller, taster, toucher, and also smeller, taster, toucher, seer and hearer. उसके साथ हम उपासना करेंगे. Then the others must have said, but that already we are doing. It is not giving us that sadhya sadhana limitation say liberation. They're all temporary. How much ever good the music, that will end one day. And our hearing cannot be continuous. And it will not give the sadhu all the time because there will be diminishing value. Something else overpowers the mind. So just like that, this is how the Pancha Jnanendriya and behind that the Antakarana. Using and contacting the outer objects of the world. This is one Atma. Should we identify with him? Obviously, no, because already we are in that world. Then, when we vehemently understand this is not the Atma we have to identify with, because if we identify, we get samsara, then we reject it. When we reject it, Kataraha Atma, therefore, they only the second Atma remaining. Then you identify with that. So, in this, we can see the Vyatireka sadhana, wherein already we are in the identity of this Chota Atma, which is causing samsara. Enough of being identified with that, let us identify with the higher Atma now. So in this way, discussion, question, answer, hows and whys, they might have had all discussion. The summary of that is put in this Upanishad. Now our job is to study the beautiful this thing with Bhashyam. Thereafter, mm, we discuss about the pure Atman, and that is concluded, toward the end of this as only one Mahavakya, only one Atma we have to do upasana and identify with. It is Prajnanam. So Prajnanam Brahma. This is what we come to conclusion. So let us enjoy this Bhashyam and the mantras tomorrow. Om 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 Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Paramanushibhyo Parabrahmane Shruti Matre Namaha Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you for your patient listening, dear sadhakas. Let us continue.